should I be playing blades? Now that is a question I'm sure plenty of you have asked yourself. And if we could, we'd all love to put a set of something like this in our bags. You know, they look fantastic, they feel phenomenal. There would be that sense of pride about having a set of blades in your bag. It's kind of the mark of a player. The simple fact of the matter is, though, that the vast majority of us are nowhere near good enough to play a set of these. Something as sleek, as compact, as unforgiving as a blade. So to try and answer the question of whether you should be playing something like this or not, I'm going to touch on some of the key aspects that make a blade so appealing. Stuff like looks, feel, workability. We're also going to look at forgiveness, speed, performance, words you maybe don't commonly associate with a blade. Now the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to compare the P7MB, this TaylorMade blade, with something at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, their Sim Max OS iron. Just look at the difference in size of these two things. One is a big chunky cavity back design, super game improvement iron, packed with modern technology, and the other is largely a hunk of steel that's so small. I'm also going to compare these two with something a wee bit more middle of the road, the TaylorMade P770. Now this is a sleek player's design, but it's got some modern technology in here to make it a little bit more user-friendly than the P7MB. So I'm going to compare these three, let you know how I go on, show some numbers up on the screen, and just try and answer the question, should you be playing with blades? First off though, before I head out onto the golf course, if you're new to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Okay, reason number one why I love blades, and it's of course the looks. They just look so stunning. I mean, compared with the Sim Max OS, in my view, really, it's not a contest at all. Now the Sim Max OS isn't a bad looking iron, but it's just so big, it's chunky, it's designed to give you a lot of speed and forgiveness. And if you're going to get that speed and forgiveness, then it's going to take a big iron head to do it. With the P7MB, it's just a classic, stunning looking blade. I think it's the best iron TaylorMade have ever made. It just looks fantastic, but no matter what blade you go for, really, they're always looking fantastic in the bag. With the P770, I think it just hits the middle mark so perfectly. It looks like a lovely player's iron, really sleek, really compact, and you wouldn't really know if you picked up off the shelf for the first time just the amount of technology it's packed in there. But certainly, if you're going just on looks, if that was the only thing you took into consideration, I think we'd all have a set of blades in the bag. Now the next big appeal with a blade design is the buttery soft feel down at impact. Nothing feels like a blade. With the P7MB, TaylorMade have used a new compact grain forging process, which just means it's one of, if not the best feeling blade on the market just now in my opinion, and it just feels better than any other TaylorMade iron in the past. With the Sim Max OS, it's going to be louder, a bit clickier down at impact, but TaylorMade have worked hard to get their game improvement, super game improvement options feeling that little bit nicer. We've got an echo dampening system just to try and get rid of harsh vibrations, also speed bridge technology to stiffen up that top line, just make these irons feel that little bit nicer. All the manufacturers are doing this, you know, they're game improvement irons these days. They really feel, for big designs designed to give you as much help, as much distance as possible, they feel pretty good. And then the P770 right in the middle, you know, we've seen a lot of companies bring out these hollow body forged designs, but with TaylorMade, that speed foam technology just means that the P770 feels fantastic. It looks and feels like a player's iron, and that's really a growing trend, you know, that small compact player's distance iron that also feels good. But if we're going just on feel, then it has to be the P7MB. It's a forged, you know, single piece forged construction through the turf. The turf interaction is absolutely fantastic. You know, that thin sole just cuts through the turf with ease. So if we're going just on feel and looks, then I think just about all of us would be playing a blade design. However, that's not the whole story. Now, another reason why better players love to use blades is because of the workability on offer. Now what do I mean by that? They just make it easier for you to shape your shots. So, you know, if you're looking to play a nice high draw, a wee fade, you know, hit something low and punchy, nice and high, a blade really offers you the most scope to be creative. And that's why, you know, the best players in the world like to use blades most of the time, or something, you know, sleek and compact, because it allows them to play all the shots. So I've got a 6-iron here on the par 3. I'm just going to try and work a big draw from right to left with all 3 of the irons, and I think it'll probably show that I'll be able to work it easiest with this MB. Yeah, coming in really nicely, started it way out right, just makes it so easy to turn over. Now with the 770, it's still going to offer a good level of workability because it's a sleek, compact design. It just allows you to really, you know, get that ball turning over, in this instance, from right to left. It's something I really place a lot of value on, workability. I like to play different kind of shots, but I think for most of you, that might not be top of the priority list. Okay. Yeah, nice wee draw there again. Not quite as exaggerated as with the MBs. That's to be expected. And then when we move on to Sim Max OS, it's just going to be more difficult. This thing's designed to hit the ball straight and far, you know, it's not really designed to, you know, be workable. So I'm going to struggle here. I'm going to try my best to hit that big sling and draw again. Not too bad, you know, there's not a great deal of shape on it. You're still able to get it working one way or another, but yeah, certainly more difficult to get that shape going with the Sim Max OS, unsurprisingly. And with the MB, it's just so easy to hit whatever kind of shot you want to. Okay, we'll just do a wee on-course distance test. I've got each of the 4 irons. I've marked up the golf balls. Let's see just how big a difference there is. So let's take a look at the numbers I got earlier on today with my SkyTrack launch monitor. I tested using Pro 1 golf balls. I've got 6-iron models here first off, and with the P7MB, you can see the numbers. I'm getting exactly what I would expect. This is the kind of iron I'm used to playing with, a solid forged construction, traditional lofts, and you can see the spin rates, the launch angle, distance. That's what I'm looking to see. We then step up into sort of the middle bracket. We go with the P770, something that's got technology. It's got speed foam, it's hollow bodied, it's got, you know, a through slot speed pocket. It's packed with technology, and you can see what that results in is some more distance. The spin rate's dropping, the launch a fraction lower, and we're getting 5 yards of added carry. But as you'll notice, the descent angles are fairly similar, peak heights are fairly similar, and what that means is that, you know, it's still acting like a 6-iron. Then we go to the Sim Max OS, the big boy, and you can see that ball speed really jump up. We're now at 131 ball speed as opposed to 126 with that P7MB, launching just under 60 degrees, spin under 5,000, and what that means is just crazy distance. 196 compared to 182. That just shows you going from a solid forged construction, you know, proper blade, to something super game improvement, big chunky cavity back, packed with modern technologies, you know, a lot of distance. But again, you'll see the peak heights and descent angle with that Sim Max OS are very good, so it's still performing like a 6-iron should. When we then look at the 4-iron numbers, it's largely the same story. You know, just you can see the ball speed increasing, distance increasing, spin dropping, and yeah, just, you know, obviously getting silly distance with the Sim Max OS and the 4-iron. And this is where the blade really started to struggle. You know, I'm currently playing off 3.6 in new money with the new handicap system, but even me, I consider myself a decent ball striker. with a 4-iron, it's tough to consistently strike it out the middle. It's just difficult, and therefore my average distance isn't going to be as good because I'm not going to get it right every time, and the blade is going to punish me, especially that longer end of the bag. Then when you see we go to the P770, you can see that the distance is jumping. That's just because when I'm not catching it right, when I'm mishitting it low in the face, that through slot, speed pocket, the hollow body design, everything is helping me just to get that little bit more. And then with the Max OS and the 4-iron, it's just, again, it's on steroids, it's going a mile, and when I'm not catching it in the middle, it's so forgiving. That big cavity back design, all the technology that's in here, just really helping me out. And that's why you don't see even many pros play with a full set of blades these days. They'll have utilitarians at the long end of the bag. You know, someone who has the P7MB, they might go to the P7MC or the P770 for their 4 and 5 irons to try and, you know, just make their distances consistent, good gapping at the long end of the bag. Hopefully this video has given you a wee bit more insight into what a blade design has to offer, and perhaps the reason why you shouldn't be putting one in your bag. You know, they really are reserved for the absolute best ball strikers out there. So, you know, if you think you're a decent player and you want to put blades in the bag, you'd maybe go for something more like the P770. There is stuff out there that looks fantastic, but offers the distance and forgiveness that club golfers really need. And then at the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got the Max OS. If you want maximum distance, maximum speed, maximum forgiveness, if you want something that's just going to make your life so much easier, if you don't have any confidence in your iron game, then you've got those kind of options out there. So I think the answer to the question for all of us, or for most of us anyway, only a select few of you will answer the question, yes, I am good enough to be playing a blade. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you very much for watching.